Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha Teacher. Children, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, isn't it? Because of that, we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean that we are going to stop learning. We are going to meet here regularly through the virtual training center to learn many lessons in EVS. So come on, let's go to a lesson in EVS. So children, the lesson that we will be doing in EVS today is a lesson in standard 4th EVS 2. Alright, now we started doing EVS 2 last time and we saw lesson number 1 where we studied that in EVS 2 of standard 4th we will be learning about the life and time of the great Maratha king Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. And we also saw that the name of our textbook itself is Shiva Chhatrapati. Alright, and in the first lesson we got a good idea about how the state or the condition of the state of Maharashtra was before the times of Shivaji Maharaj. Now at that time when we completed the lesson, I told you that we will be doing a lesson based on the work of saints in Maharashtra. Okay, not only in Maharashtra, but these work which the saints have done, it is relevant all over India today. So we will be learning lesson number 2 today, that is work of saints. So see on this picture, you can see photographs of some very famous saints of Maharashtra. So what we will be doing today is, we will be talking about certain saints who lived in Maharashtra and who had a great influence on the life and the people and the thinking of the people in Maharashtra. Some of them, they also had a reach all over the country. Okay, now this is a little long lesson children. We are going to learn about many different saints. So what I have done is, I have split up the lesson into 2 parts. So the first part we will be seeing now. Now before we go and talk about the saints, let us recollect what we talked about last time. So we thought and we understood that Shivaji Maharaj, he was a ruler in the time of the medieval period. Okay, that period when Shivaji Maharaj ruled over Maharashtra was the medieval period. And at that time there were many great kings who were ruling. Some of them were very good, but many others, they were very selfish. They had their own interests, they had their own pleasures, and they were not bothered at all about the people in their state. And therefore Shivaji Maharaj, he went ahead and he established Swaraj in Maharashtra. But before that, he had to defeat so many kings who were ruling that time. We saw that there was the Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar and the Adil Shah of Bijapur. So almost the entire portion or a large portion of the state of Maharashtra was ruled by these 2 kings. And these 2 kings were sworn enemies of each other. That is, they were always fighting with each other. And in this bargain, they forgot to look after the welfare of the people in their country or in their kingdom. Okay, so it was the way in which the Shivaji Maharaj defeated these people and he established Swaraj that we are going to learn about in this particular textbook. But now we will see that Shivaji Maharaj, he honored saints, not only Hindu saints, but saints of all religions. And he also drew a lot of inspiration from the noble deeds of the saints, and he also thought about and he considered the work of these saints, and he used all the work which was given by the saints and all the good thoughts given by the saints in order to successfully establish Swaraj in Maharashtra. So come on children, in this lesson let us talk about the various saints. So we have Saint Chakradhar Swami. Okay, we are going to learn about many saints here. So Saint Chakradhar Swami we will talk about. We will talk about Saint Namdev, or in Marathi we say Sant Namdev. Okay, in English it is saint, but when we talk about the name in Marathi we will say Sant Namdev. Then we have Sant Jnaneshwar, we have Sant Chokha Mela, Okay, so we will be talking about all these sants or saints. They came from various strata of society, they came from various backgrounds. Okay, there are also many other saints, but what they all taught in common was they taught people virtues like compassion. Compassion means having love and understanding for each other, non violence. Okay, they taught people the idea of charity. Charity means what? Donating. For example, now during the period of COVID, you will see that many people have lost their jobs and they do not have any earnings and they are in a very, very poor situation. So, what you can do is, if you have some extra things at home, you can always give it to others for their use. So, that is called as donating. Whatever you earn, giving a part of it, okay, giving up a part of your earnings in order to help someone who needs it. And then they also talked about brotherhood, that is whether you belong to any color, you belong to any caste, any religion, you should have love for each other, you should promote brotherhood so that there is peace in society. So these were the main teachings. Along with that, they also taught people the idea of equality. Now children, we know that during those times in ancient India, there was a lot of inequality based on caste. Okay, so these people, they tried to drive away such things from the minds of people, and they tried to bring about equality among the people. So see, there were many saints who inspired the people, they brought the people together, and they also tried to create a change or bring about a change in the mindset of the people. They taught people that no one is inferior and no one is superior. They said that all of us are equal. So there are many other saints or sants also, children, in this group, whom we are not going to talk much about all of them. Okay, we are going to try and see in detail about 5 or 6 of them, but let us take a look at their names. So you have Sant Goroba, Sant Savata, Sant Narhari, Sant Eknath. We will learn about him. We will learn about Sant Eknath in detail over here. Okay, Sant Sheikh Muhammad, Sant Tukaram. We are going to talk about Sant Tukaram also. Sant Niloba, Sant Janabai, Sant Soirabai, Sant Nirmalabai, Sant Muktabai. Now Sant Muktabai was Sant Jnaneshwar's sister. Sant Kanopatra and Sant Bahinabai Shiurkar. So you can see there were a lot of women also in this group. Okay, there were a lot of women saints also. So these are the various people who brought about a lot of difference, a sea of change in the life of people in Maharashtra. Now come on children, let us take a look at each of them or a few of them in detail. So the first person that we are going to talk about is Sri Chakradhar Swami. Now I told you that these people, all these saints, they all came from various different backgrounds or various strata of society. Now this person, Sri Chakradhar Swami, he was originally a prince from Gujarat. Okay, he was from a royal family. He belonged to the family of kings and queens. He was a prince. But see, he gave up everything like Prince Siddhartha did to become an ascetic. Now who's an ascetic? He was a person who gave up everything. You say na, ascetic is like a sannyasi who gives up everything in order to do better or in order to good for the humankind. So he became an ascetic and he came to Maharashtra. Wandering around, he came to Maharashtra and he preached equality in Maharashtra. So an ascetic is a person who gives up everything for the sake of serving people. Now imagine, he was a prince, so he must have had so many luxuries. He must have lived a life of a good amount of luxury. He must have had servants and good food, good clothes. He might never had to do anything in his life, no work at all. But see, he gave all that up and he became an ascetic. Now why I have underlined the word ascetic? It is because it's a new word. Alright. So this was about Sant Chakradhar Swami, or we call him Sri Chakradhar Swami. He believed that we should not discriminate based on gender or caste, and he was a Krishna Panthi, that is, he was a follower of Lord Krishna. Okay, and the sect that he established, that is a group of people who followed him, they formed a group. That group is called as the Mahanubhav sect. Okay, and whatever you can say good incidents from his life where he has tried to teach people how to behave, all that is put down in this book called as Shri Leela Charitra, okay, or the Shri Chakradhar Swami Leela Charitra. So in this book you will see all his teachings and memorable events from his life that he has compiled. Okay, so he did not believe in any discrimination based on caste or gender. So he said that whether you are a man or a woman, you have equal status in society. Because at those times, children, there was a little bit of discrimination based on gender as well as based on caste. So he said whatever the color of your skin is, whichever religion you belong to, whatever caste you come from, you are all equal. So he believed that in equality of gender and equality of caste also. So this was about Shri Chakradhar Swami. Okay, we move on and let us look at another very, very important saint or sant in Maharashtra, that is Sant Namdev. Now Sant Namdev was a great devotee of Lord Vitthal. Okay, now Lord Vitthal is a very, very important deity worshipped in the state of Maharashtra. People go to worship Lord Vitthal, they go to visit his temple. Okay, now he was born, or he lived in a place called Narsi, village of Narsi. Now Narsi is a small village in the Hingoli taluka of Hingoli district of Maharashtra. It is also known as the birthplace of the saint as well as poet. Now Sant Namdev was also a very, very famous poet. Poet in the sense, what did he do? He composed numerous songs in praise of God. So he wrote various songs and he performed kirtans also. Now what are kirtans? Kirtans are also songs or stories which are based on religion. Okay, and he tried to bring about awakening all around him. He tried to bring about awakening among the people. He moved all over Maharashtra and he tried to spread the Bhagavad Dharma, and he tried to teach people that you should have a deep devotion towards God. He also instilled in them that they have to protect their religion. You have to respect other religions, but you have to protect your own religion also. Later on, Sant Namdev, he traveled to Punjab. So see, from Maharashtra all the way he traveled to Punjab. Now remember children, in those times there were no aeroplanes, okay, there were no trains, there were no buses. So people had to travel on foot or on the back of animals like horses, etc. But even then he traveled all the way to Punjab and he spread the message of equality among the people over there also. He composed songs in Hindi too. Now some of his verses or his poems you will find in the Guru Granth Sahib. Now Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the holy book of the Sikhs. Okay, our Sikh brothers and sisters, they consider the Guru Granth Sahib Ji as their holy book. Just like we Hindus have the Bhagavad Gita, the Muslims have the Quran, and Christians have the Bible. In the same way, the Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the holy book of the Sikhs. Okay, now his songs are sung all over Maharashtra, of course, but even the people of Punjab, okay, they too still sing his songs. They too have translated his songs into Punjabi, and you will find some of the songs, like I told you, in the Guru Granth Sahib also. So that, children, was about the second saint for today, or the second sant for today, Sant Namdev. Now let's move on and let us talk about the story of a very, very important saint of Maharashtra, that is Sant Jnaneshwar. Now Sant Jnaneshwar was a person who brought people really close to religious teachings. Now how did he do that? we will learn in the later part of this video. So Sant Jnaneshwar, he belonged to a family in Apegaon. So now where is Apegaon? Apegaon is in Paitan Taluka of Aurangabad district in the state of Maharashtra. Okay, now he had two brothers and a sister. Now his brother was called Nivruttinath and the other brother was called Supandev. See, he had two brothers and he also had a sister called Muktabai. Now Jnaneshwar's sister Muktabai and they shared a very special bond with each other. Now Jnaneshwar, at a point in his life, he had lost a lot of hope and he was very upset and he was very frustrated, but it was his sister who gave him a new way. She showed him a new path. Even that we will see in the story later. Okay, so he had two brothers and a sister. Now what happened, children, was, and in those times there were some men who were very cruel, okay, and they used to look down upon these children. Look down upon these children means they used to ill-treat them and they used to insult them. Why did they used to do this? Because they were the offsprings of a sannyasi. Now what is the meaning of offspring of a sannyasi? Offspring means children, and sannyasi means a person who has given up everything in the world. Okay, now why were they treated like this? And why were they treated like this? Because they were offspring of a sannyasi? Let us find out. So now once it so happened that their father, he took sannyas. Okay, sannyas means he gave up everything in his worldly life. That is, he gave up his father, he gave up his mother, his wife, his family, everything, and he retired from worldly life. He said that now I am going to go and follow the path of God. So he retired from worldly life and he became a sannyasi. He left his wife and he went to live with his guru. Now it so happened that somehow his guru, he instructed him, or he asked him to return home and continue with his life at home. Okay, so he obeyed the order of his guru and he returned home and he started living with his wife. So see, he had taken sannyas and he had left home. But it must have been because of certain reasons that his guru must have asked him to go back. Now it was his duty to obey his guru also. So that is the reason he obeyed his guru and he came back home and he started living with his wife. And then he and his wife had these 4 children. That is, after he took sannyas, after he came back home, these 4 children were born. And that was the reason that these 4 children were not treated well by the people in those times. The narrow-minded, the people of those times, they felt that a sannyasi should not have children. And therefore, the people, they banished these children. They removed them from the community. Okay, they told them that you are not supposed to live with us. You please go and stay somewhere else. So can you imagine what their condition would have become, children? The 3 brothers along with the sister, they were left with no one to care for them. They were left with no one to feed them. They were left with fending for themselves. And so one day, Jnaneshwar, in search of food, that is begging for alms, he went into town. So he went all around the town asking for people for some money or some food grains. But no one gave him any alms. Instead, they used abusive language. Now see, whatever was done by their father. Isn't it? These children, poor things, they did not have any fault. But then see how they were treated. Now Jnaneshwar was deeply pained. He felt very bad. Okay, and he started crying and he went back into his hut and he locked the door from inside and he sat and he started crying and he started cursing himself. He started saying, why am I being subjected to this kind of treatment? We have not, me and my brothers and my sister, we have not done any wrong for anyone. Then why are we being treated this way? So he was sitting and he was crying and he was thinking about all these things. That is when his sister came towards the door. She started knocking on the door, Muktabai, and she said, Open the door, Jnaneshwar. How can we remain drowned in our own sorrow? Who will look after the welfare of the people in the world? She said, see, we are supposed to serve the people. So if you sit inside a closed room and if you cry about your own fate, then who will help the people in the world? Now these words of his sister, they gave new hope to Jnaneshwar, or Jnandev as he was called. Okay, and then he decided that he will forget his own personal sorrow and he will start working for the welfare of the people. And that is why Jnaneshwar went among the people and he taught them to have faith in God. So that is the most important thing that he taught them. He said, you might have a lot of trouble in life. Okay, you might be very harassed in life, but remember, always have faith in whatever God that you believe in. He also said that we should learn a very few important things if you want to live life well. So what were those important tips, or what were those important teachings that he gave to his people or to his followers? He said that we should give equal treatment to all. Okay, so you should not treat anyone based on how they are born, or where they are born, or which caste they are born into, or whether they are rich, whether they are poor. A man will be respected, a woman will not be respected. That should never happen. And the second most important teaching of Sant Jnaneshwar was that you should have faith in God. He also said that we should try to help those in trouble. So remember, in the beginning of the lesson I said that he taught all these saints, they taught people about charity, they taught people about donating, they taught people about brotherhood. So see, all the saints, in one way or the other, they teach the same things. He said you should help those in trouble. We should allay their misery. Now, allaying someone's misery means when someone is in pain, when someone is in trouble, you should try to see to it that you give them some kind of comfort. So this is the gist of his advice towards the people. So whatever he taught, all of those teachings were aimed at these four important points. Give equal treatment to all, have faith in God, help the people who are in trouble, and try to allay their misery. Now Jnaneshwar's words, they were heard with a lot of respect by the people in every nook and corner of Maharashtra for the last 700 years. So even today, children, his believers, they try to follow what he has taught. Okay? Now there was one very important thing I told you in the beginning of the lesson. I told you that Sant Jnaneshwar is the person who was responsible that even the common man knew about the teachings of religion. How did he do that? He did it in a very, very important way. Now in those days, children, all the religious teachings, they were confined to Sanskrit books. Now, Sanskrit was a language which was not understood by the common people. The common people, they used to understand the language of Marathi. Okay, the mother tongue of most of the people in the state of Maharashtra was Marathi, and they used to understand Marathi, they used to read Marathi, they used to write Marathi, speak Marathi. But Sanskrit was you can say, a language which was known, understood, read, written, spoken by just a few people. Not all people could understand Sanskrit. Now when all the religious teachings are in the Sanskrit books, then tell me, how will the common people know what is written there? How will they learn good things in life? So now what Jnaneshwar did was, he thought about this, and he thought that he should write something for the common people who understood Marathi. So he wrote his outstanding book, Jnaneshwari, in Marathi. Okay, he said, I will not write in Sanskrit, I will write in Marathi. He thus opened wide for his people the doors of knowledge. So in all the religious books, children, whether the religious books belong to the religion of Hinduism, whether it belongs to Christianity, whether it belongs to Islam, if you read the religious books, all the religious books teach us just one thing. They teach us to have faith in God. They teach us to love the people around us. They teach us brotherhood. They teach us equality. So in one way or the other, all the religious books teach the same thing. So Jnaneshwari, which is written in Marathi, Sant Jnaneshwar, he preached the idea of brotherhood among all men. So when he wrote this book, he became more popular among the people of Maharashtra and all over India as well. But what he did was, he opened the doors of knowledge wide for his people, but what he did was, at a very early age, Jnandev, he took Samadhi at a place called Alandi near Pune. Now what is Samadhi? Samadhi means putting yourself into a kind of a trance. Now what is trance? Now you must have heard people saying that he suffered an accident and he has gone into coma. Okay, now coma is something where you are not aware of anything which is happening around you. Okay, now coma is a condition which happens because of an accident. But when someone takes Samadhi, they put themselves into a trance. Trance means they lock all their senses. Then they do not understand what is going on around them. They do not eat, they do not drink, and slowly they never come out of it. So in the same way, Jnaneshwar also, he took Samadhi at this place called Alandi in Pune. But children, even today, after so many years of taking Samadhi, you will see that even today, his pilgrims or his devotees, on the 11th day of the month of Ashad and the month of Kartik, now these are Marathi months according to the Hindu calendar. So on the 11th day of Ashad and 11th day of Kartik, thousands of pilgrims, they go to Alandi and they visit the Samadhi of Sant Jnaneshwar. Okay, so this, children, was the beautiful story of Sant Jnaneshwar. Alright, so now we have also learnt about the life of Sant Namdev and Sri Chakradhar Swami. So if you see, look at this lesson, they have given you maximum ideas about the life of Sant Jnaneshwar. That is why we talked about his life in great detail in the form of a story. Now, like I said, this is a little long lesson, children, so we cannot talk about all the saints in one particular lesson. So next time when we meet, we are going to talk about the life of Sant Eknath. We will talk about the life of Sant Tukaram and the life of Samartha Ramdas. So that we will be doing it when we meet next time. So children, towards the end of the lesson, that is after you finish watching the video, your work is not over. Okay, so after you finish watching the video, what will you do? There are some small tasks for you. Now what those tasks are, let me tell you immediately after. So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learnt a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.